Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to work on the remove button so that the user will be able to remove a product from the cart. So let me head on over to the project to work on it. PHP. Remember we have here this input, we have this input and this form, and this form has this input which is the remove button. So we need to activate this form. So to activate this form, first we need to, before we activate it, we need to, in order to remove a product from the cart, we need to know its ID, because the ID is the only thing that we should know in order to remove a product from the cart. So here I'm going to say input, and then I'm going to say type hidden, and the name is going to be ID, and the value obviously is going to be the product ID, because by knowing the product ID we will be able to remove it from the cart. So I'm going to say here double curly braces and then product and then square brackets and then ID. Now I can now I have passed the ID and stored the ID in a hidden input. Now we need to activate this form. So to activate this form we need to give it two things. We need to give it method, which is going to be post, and we also need to give it action. So the action is going to be double curly braces and then a new route. I'm going to name it remove from cart. I'm going to say here remove underscore from underscore cart. And we need also to add the CSRF code here. I'm going to say at CSRF, and we are done with this part. The next step is that we need to create this route. We need to create this remove from cart route, and in order to create it we need to head on over to the web.php. So let me head on over to the web.php. We need to copy these two lines and then we need to paste them below. However, we need to change here from this to remove underscore from underscore cart, and here we need to say remove from cart, and here as well remove from cart, and here. So if the user tries to remove a product from the cart using a GET request, we will not allow that. We only allow the user to remove a product from the cart using a POST request. Now the last step is that we need to create the remove from cart function. So to create this function we need to create it in the cart controller. So I'm going to head on over to the cart controller and then I'm going to work on this function. So in the cart controller I'm going to say function, and then I'm going to say remove from cart, and this remove from cart function should take the request. We should say request, and in order to remove something from the cart we need to get the ID. So to get the ID we need to say ID is equal to request and then input ID. And we also need to access the cart. So to access the cart, we already know this. We need to say cart is equal to request session get a cart. But before we get the cart, we need to check whether the cart is empty or not. And to do this, I'm gonna say here request. I'm gonna say here if request session has, if we have a cart, then we can proceed. And now I'm gonna copy this ID and paste it inside this if statement. And then we need here to get the cart. I'm gonna say here cart. Now the cart is gonna be equal to request, and then session, request session, and then get. And then what we want to get is that we want to get the cart. And finally we need to remove it from the cart. To remove something from the cart we need to use the unset function, and this unset function takes the cart and the ID. So we need to say cart ID. This is going to remove the product, its ID and the product itself from the array. And then finally we need to add that product back to cart, because this is going to remove the product from the cart array. This is an array. However, we need to add the new cart, because this cart, after we call this unset, this cart will have one less product because this product now has been removed. And to add the new to update the session cart, we need to say request session and then put, and then we need to put back the cart in the cart key, because now the cart key is has one less product. Finally, we need to call the calculate function because now the cart has one less product. Therefore, we need to recalculate the total. So we need to say calculate total cart, and then we need to pass the request. And outside this if statement, we just need to return. I'm going to say return, and then we return to the cart. And we are good to go. Now, whenever the user deletes something, this function, whenever the user clicks on the remove function, whenever the user clicks on remove button, this function will be called. Let me now test. In order to test, first we need to refresh the page. So I'm going to go to the cart, refresh the page first, and then I'm going to click on remove. If I click on remove, boom, the product has been removed from the cart. So now we learned how to remove a product from cart.